Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I, as always, want to thank you so very much for taking your valuable time and spending it here with me today. My name is Jeremy. If you're new to listening, I really appreciate it and hope we can give you something that you leave with to think about or to help better your life or anything that of value. That's why I'm here. So thank you and look forward to hearing from anybody that has some comments or positives, negatives, whatever you got. Love to hear some, just to kind of see where I'm at with the show, and are there areas that I need to get better, or areas that have really kind of spoken to people. So please feel free anytime to DM me, Instagram, Facebook. Email is crewfirstculture@yahoo.com. So love to hear from anybody. Thank you. Now, I guess kind of before I get started, I want to put out another plug here. I'm doing I was lucky enough to be asked to do a YouTube live show tomorrow, which is Tuesday, with the Professional Volunteer, and that'll be, I believe, 1900 hours, which is 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so if you have some time available, it's definitely going to be a good conversation and one worth tuning into. So that'll be good. And I think he said that he will put it on his page, YouTube page, at least after it's over. So if you don't catch it, you still be able to listen in later. Anyway, kind of getting that stuff out of the way. This is actually the third time I've tried to record this. The first time I did it in the parking lot before work, like I've done a few times, and just couldn't get anything to work and got frustrated. And so then yesterday I kind of ran an experiment to see if I could record on my way home in the car. And so my car is a 2005 Honda Civic, and not exactly the greatest at quiet rides. So when I got home and just kind of listened to the first 10 seconds of it, I quickly realized that there's no way that I could use it. It was lots and lots of road noise. So go ahead and just record it again. I've had this kind of topic in my head for a little while, and have seen some other conversations about it, and heard some other podcasts about it. And so it's not like it's anything new. Like pretty much anything I say, I'm not trying to act like I'm throwing out new ideas or groundbreaking this or that. But if it's on my mind, that's what I need to talk about, because that's what I need to get out. So anyway, social media, you know, what are we doing with it? What are we using it for? Or are we using it for good? Are we using it for bad? And so what really kind of pushed me into doing this was, a couple days ago, a video got put out and just went crazy. And anybody in the fire service that's listening knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a video of a pretty good fire. It looks like a maybe 3-story apartment complex. I'm not really sure, but heavy fire coming out of the middle of the structure. And kind of as the camera zooms in on the far corner of the structure, you see a firefighter putting on his gear. Basically, looks like he's putting on his mask and helmet, and he's got his back to the camera, so you can't really tell exactly what's going on. But you also see a hand like waving out of the window. Just I don't know. It couldn't be more than 5-6 feet away from him. And so while you're watching this, you're trying to figure out what in the world is going on, because this is not this is a serious deal. I mean, there was some, like I said, heavy fire. And so a few seconds later, this citizen just basically, not literally pushes him, but basically just pushes the firefighter out of the way, grabs the lady out of the building. I think it's a lady, and makes the grab right there in front of the firefighter while he's still messing around with his gear. So that, of course, just me explaining it, even if you haven't heard it, that obviously very quickly trips a response in us. And that response is a negative response towards that person that was there, getting his mask on or whatever it was he was doing. And that's very understandable because we are what we are because we want to help people. And to see something like that, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, that's just kind of just set the table with that, and we'll talk about that quite a bit more and all that. But I just kind of wanted to lead in with it and say that, so at first I was just told about this video. So anybody out there that hasn't seen it, I was like you, I heard somebody explain it, and even just hearing it, I was like, no, there's no way, that just doesn't make sense. So then I see it, and I still don't get it. I've seen it tons and tons of times, and I just don't really understand. And so what I try to focus on and tried to focus on was what we could get out of that. I I think going into how social media can be bad, and if you are using it for bad, there are so many people, hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or whatever, throughout the world, that are so quick to jump on anything they see and just bash it. And it's almost like that's what they get off on. That's what they enjoy doing, is just tearing somebody down. And I hate it. Even if it's something that looks like, wow, they need to be worn out over that. it it's not my place, it's not our place. We weren't there. And I heard Frank Viscuso say something in a podcast a little while back, and it basically sums it up very quickly and precisely: is nobody is an expert at a fire that they weren't on or that they weren't at. And that's the mindset I try to take right there. And yes, it's easy to see something like that and really want to figure out why in the world that happened, and want to, you know, point out how dumb and, stupid, or, whatever else this looked. But we don't know any of the details except for a thin slice of that entire event that was recorded on video. We don't know what happened before the video. We don't know what happened after the video. We don't really even know what happened during the video, because the guy's back is to us the whole time. So that being said, I enjoy using these type of things with my crew, not because it gets us a laugh or because it gets us stress relief because we're bashing on somebody, but it gives us an opportunity to talk out the situation, even though we weren't there, even though a lot of it may be just kind of, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, or, whatever. It gives us an opportunity to try to learn from other people's lessons, learn from other people's mistakes. And so that's the opposite side of the coin of what, I talked about earlier, about people just looking to jump on somebody and bash them. If there's tons and tons and tons of videos out there of, you know, working fires and fire attacks and ventilation stuff, and training and training techniques, and all these different things. And you can either get good out of them and learn them, talk about what's good about it, talk about what's bad about it, talk about what you like, what you don't like, and how you can apply this and that, or you can get bad out of it and just sit and bash these people, or say that they don't know what they're talking about in a training video and just move on. Well, what good does that do anybody? I'm not saying every training video is great. I'm not saying every technique is great. I'm not saying every technique that works for 80% of people doesn't work for 20% of people. A lot of the stuff out there, you just kind of have to weed through, and that's fine, because something that speaks to me is not going to speak to Joe or Tom or Larry. Everybody is reached by different things. Everybody kind of picks up different aspects of different videos and different speeches and different classes. That's the way humans are. It's great. That's what allows me to be doing this while dozens and dozens of other people are doing the exact same thing. Not because I have anything better to say, not because I have anything just mind-blowing or inventive or anything, and I have nothing different to say than anybody else. In fact, most of what I say is probably derived and just pieces of lots of other people's things that I've heard other people say, but I say it differently than somebody else. So maybe how I say it, or in the way I say it, speaks differently to somebody that hasn't really heard it that way before. And so, like I said, that allows me to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And I think that it's awesome. It's an awesome part of being human is you can do so many things, and you can have so many people doing the exact same thing, and everybody gets something different from these people. And so I just, kind of another rabbit hole there, but I just wanted to really kind of put it out there that, it's not our place to talk bad about anybody. It's not our place to try to correct somebody's training video. It's not our place to ridicule a crew that maybe isn't doing the best on the scene. I guarantee you, anybody out there that's been on at least 2 fires has had one fire at least that didn't go as well as it probably should have. It's just our job. You're not going to be perfect at our job. And the only difference between those two is that somebody recorded this guy, but somebody just might not have recorded you screwing up. So how does that make it okay for you to look down on this other person? So that's kind of like a perspective thing that I would like to really throw out there, is because we've all been there. Hopefully you haven't been recorded and put viral videos out on your mistakes like some have, because it sucks, man. I feel bad for people like that. And so I just want to encourage everybody to yes, watch these videos, watch training videos, watch working fire videos, listen to podcasts, all of it. But take the good from it, leave the bad. Just leave it. It's a waste of time. It's a total waste of time. When I have an Instagram page, for those that don't know it, and I started out just putting out leadership posts, and nothing, no videos, no pictures, anything like that. And I just started wanting to do that because we do a lot of things with my crew. We're constantly doing something. And so I just wanted to put something out. Really what drove that decision was I like seeing what other people are doing, because it gives me ideas of what we can do. Because if you're just relying on yourself and coming up with ideas of, training evolutions and this and that, it gets old. You start kind of falling into ruts and routines, and so it's good to get out of the box and see what other people are doing. So that's really the main reason I wanted to start doing it myself, was just to kind of throw out what we're doing, and maybe it'll give people ideas of some things to do themselves. So that's it. And then there's another little piece of the part of that puzzle that I would say that I like showing off my crew. You know, we're not perfect. We're human, and we don't have perfect technique, but I love showing off the fact that if we're doing something, they're all in, they're out there with us, and we're running through it together. And so, yeah, I mean, that's part of it too. Being a leader of my station, I want to kind of give those guys some, for lack of a better term, I guess, props, you know, give them some props. But, you know, that being said, never, ever do I put videos out because I think they are perfect textbook examples of whatever we're doing. Never. I don't put that stuff out there because I think we're doing it in a way that's groundbreaking. I don't do it because I think we're, you know, doing anything that anybody else is not doing. I do it for those reasons that I said. And so that being said, you know, when I first started doing it, I put a couple of videos out that kind of got picked up by some bigger pages, and just, you know, the comments just started coming in and coming in and coming in. There were several hundred comments, and just a lot of them were just so stupid and so irritating. And me being new to that situation, I wanted to jump in right there, and I never got like hostile or, you know, threw out angry comments or anything like that. But I definitely wanted to defend myself and my crew because I knew what they were saying was stupid. And, you know, you see all of this stuff. You see people griping because you're not wearing air packs. You're not on air doing this. You know, you got to practice like you play, or it's just worthless. And anybody that trains a decent amount of time does not do it on air constantly. It doesn't work like that. We don't have a way to fill bottles at my station. We got to travel way out of district to fill bottles. So if we're on air every time we do training, we're spending half of every day getting back in service. It's not right. And that's not the point of the training. You know, we train on air for those times that we want to get better at being on air. When we're training on host techniques, we're working on host techniques, not air consumption. So it's stupid to sit there and get on to somebody for things like that. And I would shoot back, you know, yeah, you see this training that we're just doing in bunker gear, but you don't see the video that of us working for 30 minutes in a on-air workout a couple hours later. You know, I didn't post that. So what about that? You know, things like that. And one of my favorites, and I see it over and over again. And this is what really gets me. So, you know, I'm posting videos of my crew. We are lucky enough to have acquired structures every once in a while, which are basically houses that are going to get torn down. So the city or whoever gives these structures to the fire department for a few weeks or whatever, and allows them to do some training inside. That's what we call them, acquired structures. So I've posted some videos when that's happened of us doing some hose techniques and nozzle techniques and things like that inside these structures. And instead of people saying, wow, that is really cool that you guys had the opportunity to work in real houses and do these things, that you guys are doing good things, and oh yeah, I've never seen anybody do that before, that's really cool, we'll have to try that. You know, instead of being that way, over and over again, it was, you guys are causing more water damage than the fire would have ever caused, or, you know, why in the world are you using so much water? That's a waste of water. It just, it it just blows my mind that this is who we are as people. This is who you want to be, is the guy or the girl, whatever. You are the person that looks completely past the multitude of benefits of that video and go straight to the first thing that you think can stir up something. And it's sad. It's sad. It's irritating. It's now looking back, it's almost funny that that's the person those people want to be, and it's frustrating. As somebody that is just trying to do good things, I don't. You very rarely see me in those videos because I'm the one filming them. I'm not doing it to show myself off. This whole YouTube thing that I'm doing now is pretty new to me, but I'm just trying to use it as a way to get into more people, reach more people. It's not because I love seeing my face. And I've said it before, this whole thing, the podcasting, the YouTubing, the social media in general, it's very outside of my comfort zone. I am not just somebody who naturally gets up and talks without being talked to or without having something really important to say. I'm just not somebody that looks for a reason to talk. So I'm really kind of getting out of my comfort zone when I'm doing these things. So it's not that I hunger for attention, or I have to get, so many likes to feel like I'm important. I'm not like that. I am just trying to do good things. And if you want to look past that, and if you want to find negative things that about the stuff I'm doing, that's fine. I've kind of worked through that, and I'm done with that. I don't have time to devote to defending myself for reasons I shouldn't have to defend myself. If I say something that offends somebody, or I say something that doesn't come out right, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be the very first one to admit that and to apologize. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you find trouble, if you find issues with things like what I just talked about, I don't have time for it, and I'm not going to even address it anymore. So I just want to kind of, if anybody's out there struggling with that, you just need to let it go. Let them say what they're going to say. Nothing you have to say is going to make anything better, because all they want is a negative response. All they want is a fight. All they want is, just to get into a comment battle with you, conflict, all that. So just let it go. Keep focusing on the positive. Keep doing good things, and all that will go away. Because if you don't respond, then it's on to the next person to see if they can get a response from them. So, you know, I I have really, really enjoyed this, the platforms and the opportunities to possibly reach people. And this is something that, it's funny, me talking right now is completely different from the podcast that I recorded on the way home yesterday, but that's fine. It's just I don't like scripting stuff. I just want to kind of let it flow out as long as I can stay on track halfway. But and this is a conversation I'm probably going to have with my wife today, just to talk about it. But I am, to be honest, really struggling at work to keep keep my drive going, keep my passion going at work. This whole situation has really been a struggle for me. And I love my crew. I have a great time with my crew. We laugh all the time, we joke all the time, we harass each other all day, and it's fun. But I'm just starting to feel like my purpose is starting to kind of disappear a little bit. I really enjoy the station I'm at because we're one of the busiest stations we have. The other stations that are busier as well have multiple rigs that kind of split calls. And so they, if you're at one of those stations, you're basically going to half of the calls in your district. Well, my station is just one rig. It's just me and 3 or 4 other people. And so if there's a call in my district, it's us. We don't have other crews to split with. And so, most generally we're pretty busy throughout the day, and our nights are usually busy as well. But this whole virus thing has just changed so much. And, we literally run 1 or 2 calls a day most days. Yeah, we'll have a few days scattered out through here and there that kind of make you feel like, oh, well, maybe it's starting to pick back up. Well, and then it goes away again. And so kind of what I'm getting at is, like everybody else out there, probably, we do the job because we want to help people. We want to make a difference. And that is why I say that I'm really struggling right now with all of that, because making 1 call a day, it it's it doesn't feel like I'm making a difference. We haven't had fires, and it seemed like forever. I don't know what the problem is. It's very frustrating, and I'm sorry for saying that, but I'm a firefighter. We fight fire. That's one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't ever want to wish harm on somebody, but I love fighting fires, and we haven't had anything. And so you put that along with just not having anything at all, period. It is so frustrating to me. I am at that station because I want to be doing things. I don't, we have stations that run, I don't even know, but you could literally go tours and weeks without running a call, or with only running 1 or 2 calls. And that's not what I want. I don't want to be there, but that's where I'm at right now with all this virus stuff. We literally, last shift, we had 1 call. It was a lift assist, and yeah, okay, we helped that one person, but it's starting to feel like a struggle to want to be at work. I'm losing that. But why I'm saying that is that this has really helped kind of keep me going, keep the drive inside me running, and keep the passion going. Because, like last week, having the discussion with Brian and John over, the crossover episode we had. And if you haven't listened to that, please do. It was a fun conversation. It was a very good topic, and there's so much to get into. We've already discussed kind of hitting it again and kind of going some different routes with it. But after I left that conversation, I was home. So, just kind of spent family time after that. I felt energized just from the conversation. I did nothing to physically help anybody. I did nothing to fight fire, but I felt like I was doing something that was bigger than myself. It was something that I felt somebody could get some good out of, and it felt really good, and that keeps me going. And so, saying that, I'm very thankful for this. I just starting out, don't have a lot of people listening. That's fine. Everybody starts out somewhere. I'm not doing it so that I can just get on here and just talk or screw around. I had a conversation yesterday with somebody that actually talked about, the episode I just talked about, and how much they really appreciated it. And stuff like that means so much to me. And kind of what I told them is some of these podcasts, oh, it's just guys screwing around and joking around and all this and that, and that's fine. Sometimes it's fun to listen to that, even for me. But I don't have time to do that. I struggle with finding a balance to even do this enough to get the things out that I really feel that are important. I don't have time to mess around and just get on here and cut up and joke around. I just don't. That doesn't mean I'm the kind of person that doesn't like doing it at the station and all that. It just means that I personally, if I'm on here recording something, if I'm on here talking to somebody about something, it's because I really feel like it could possibly make a difference in somebody's life. And that's the reason that I want to give that a little bit of valuable time. And so kind of me saying that is I'm just very thankful. You know, I've had a few people reach out to me the past few days, and I cannot explain to you how much I appreciate that, how good that makes me feel, that even though there's only a few listening, that even that being the case, there's at least one or two people out there that it's reaching. And that's been the goal the whole time. You know, I don't think that I'll ever just blow up and be all over the place. That, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. My goal is to make a difference in somebody's life. If that means it's one person, then that's one person that wouldn't have had it without me talking and saying something that I said. So, you know, that's great. That means that, like I said earlier, that means that I'm doing something that's bigger than me. And I'm not afraid to say I've been blessed with a message. This stuff doesn't come just because I'm this great guy, this great leadership mind, this great, you know, whatever. I'm nothing. I'm just somebody that has been through a lot and that has learned a lot, has seen a lot. And so I just want to use what I've been through to try to help others to learn, to grow. And so that's kind of what I really want to kind of get everybody to see is social media is such an amazing tool. You know, it's literally driving me to do better things right now. When my career is kind of faltering, as far as just, it seems like it's in limbo, like I'm not really being able to do what I'm there to do. In those times, social media is helping me to stay in it, to stay pushing, to stay wanting to get better, because I'm choosing to use it that way. You know, so I want to ask the question, you know, what are you choosing to use social media as? Are you choosing it? Are you choosing to use it in good? Are you choosing to use it in bad? You know, something that I think is super cool is, so I use Buzzsprout as my host for the podcast, and they've got a little tab on there that I just found the other day that shows you where your listeners are listening at. And there's like 2 people in Canada and I think like 4 people in France. And I'm like, France, that's crazy to me. It just blew my mind. And no, I'm not bragging. Okay, 4 people, wow. But still, it's just so cool to me that somebody in France is listening to me talk. I just think it's cool. So where I'm going with this is, we have the ability to reach around the entire world with what we say, with what we're putting out there, with what videos we put out there, with what pictures we put out there. And that should be a huge, huge statement for us to think about. It is for me, because so here it is. So am I using that platform? Am I using that stage, that worldwide stage, to benefit somebody, to help them grow, to help motivate, inspire them? Or am I using that stage as a platform to ridicule somebody, make fun of somebody? you know, blast somebody for the techniques they're using or screwing up on a scene, is that what we're using it for? Does that not, it, I just hope that when I say it like that, I hope it really resonates with people of the impact that you have, the impact that we all have. It is amazing to think about the good that we have the possibility of doing if we just focus on what we're putting out there. So that I just it, I hope that I'm transferring the importance of that, because to me it's huge. I can't I can't say it enough how big of a responsibility we really have with social media. It's it's crazy, and I guarantee you there are very few people that look at it like that. A lot of people look at it as just some form of entertainment, some form of time, way to waste time, and that's fine. If I know there are lots and lots and lots of people out there that are just, people that look through it, don't ever say anything, just look through it to waste time or to, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's fine. But the opportunity is there to make a difference in somebody's life. And everybody out there has been through something that somebody else needs to see, somebody else needs to hear. And I just want to really, really ask that of you to really tap into that. On kind of I think my second episode, first episodes, I talked about, how I really started this to be a voice for leadership, and I really enjoy talking about leadership and things like that. But if I was honest with myself, I really think that I've got a bigger voice and a better chance of helping people if I dug into my kind of journey through life, what I've dealt with at home, not work, the mental health aspects and the struggles that I've been through and fought through. And I I know that I can be so much more of a help to somebody if I dug into that stuff over if I just dug into, how my opinions are on leadership. But leadership is fun to talk about. Training is fun to talk about. Mental health and the life lessons I've learned and the disasters that I've lived through, those are not fun to talk about. That is just it's just a gritty, dirty conversation that it doesn't feel good. It's not fun. But I'm not here to have fun. I'm, like I've said, I'm here to help people. And so I will go that route, and we will dig into some of that stuff, because I know that there are a lot of people out there going through it. And I know that if I want to help people, I will use social media. I will use any platform I can to do that. And those are areas that I can use as topics to kind of go that route. So anyway, I hope that I'm not just rambling here. I just want to really kind of put things in a little bit different perspective for everybody, because everybody uses social media. I work with guys that don't have a single social media account, but they're on YouTube a lot, or they're on games that you're talking back and forth with other people playing a game. As far as I'm concerned, it's all social media. You're talking with people, you're dealing with people, you're seeing other people that you would have never seen ever without being on those platforms. So I just feel like everybody is in one way or another a part of social media, and to really keep it in perspective of the power and the influence that you have when you're on those platforms, and to really think about what you're doing with it, because it's again, I go back to it's such a powerful thing. And so really that's all I have to say. I don't want to kind of hang out longer, because when I do this, I start tending to walk around in circles and repeat myself. But anyway, just give you some thoughts. If you're somebody out there that's been that person of really using it in negative ways, and I hope that I kind of bring some light to that for you. If you're somebody out there trying to do great things and using it for good, I appreciate you so much. And there's so many people out there doing really, really great things. And, I see so many good things on Instagram. I hear so many good podcasts, and I love it. You know, don't let it overtake your life. I've been very honest about that, as far as me having to really back off and prioritize my time at home. And that's kind of why I'm doing it right now. In the morning, I've kind of allotted myself a little time in the mornings to do some of these things, and then it's off and done, so that I can have time for my family. But you know, we have some great tools here. We just have to use them in the right ways. So thank you so much for everything you guys have done. Anybody that's reached out to me, I really appreciate it. I can't say it enough. I want to ask anybody out there, if I'm saying anything that means something to you, please let me know. It just really helps to kind of keep that going, keep that drive going for me. I I love I love the comments. If you see something that I think, or that you think that I could do better, or you have some constructive criticism, that's fine too. I'm not saying just reach me if you got positive things to say, but I really hope that if there's anybody out there that's getting something from these, please let me know. Please let others know. Share it, like it, subscribe, or download, whatever it is that whatever platform you're using uses. I would very much appreciate it, and I hope to just to keep going. No, hopefully we can keep pushing out some good stuff. Again, I wanted to remind everybody about the YouTube Live tomorrow. Look up The Professional Volunteer. If you haven't heard of Brian with The Professional Volunteer, look his podcast up, look his YouTube up. He puts out some really, really good stuff, some great thoughts. The, the message he has to give is a great one. And I'm very happy to have been kind of pulled under his wing and brought into his little circle by him. I'm lucky to have him. He's helped me a lot through this journey, and just a great guy. And so if you haven't, look him up. If you got some time Tuesday, check us out. It'll be a great conversation, and look forward to coming back and talking with you again. Appreciate your time. Until next time, stay safe. Take care of each other. Thank you.